So thank you everyone for joining us. Really appreciate it. I know with harvest around the corner, everyone's really busy. So for you taking the time to be a part of this means a lot. So just thank you again. So my name is Omar Gomez. I am the Regional Account Executive here at Hectre, based out of Washington State. Also on this webinar will be Aaron Croft, our Group Product Manager on the Spectre side, which is our early size platform that we have available to growers and pack houses around the world. Just a quick little agenda of what we'll be going through today. The previous way of, hand sampling that was done historically for the last, whatever it is, 40, 50 years, solving this problem with a new approach that we created here at Hectre. Early fruit sizing and action. We'll be showing you what that looks like. That Q&A we talked about, and then a conclusion here of what we went over is what this webinar will be comprised of today. Just a little bit about us here at Hectre. We work with over 25,000 hectares across the world. So we're on 4 continents, New Zealand, the US, Australia, Canada, Chile, Spain, Czech Republic, Italy. We have users in all those places currently. Been globally recognized 2 years in a row as the AgTech BreakThrough Company of the Year out of 1,600 nominations. So really proud of that. Speaks volumes to our development team, our marketing team, and the efforts they're putting in every single day. Industry-led, so we get a lot of our feedback, and our development is strictly based on feedback from our customers and potential customers as they give us problems they're trying to solve, and we try to build solutions for those problems specifically directly from their feedback. So as you guys know, the previous way of hand sampling or getting early size data was a manual process, picking out a certain amount of fruit, either weighing it or taking calipers. So very manual and time consuming. As I mentioned, the time portion of it that it took. So it was either out in the field, done in the bin, or at the receiving station, what we've been told and what we saw early on. Customers had a QC person there taking 50 apples out of a lot. That can take, whether it's 5-10 minutes, depending on how thorough they were, and depending on the sample size, really depending on how long it took to get that data. So what we saw was a low volume of sizing, insignificant data, but leading to some issues on the predictions and the estimations from what the fruit actually was once it was ran. So, like I mentioned, it was anywhere from 50 pieces of apples for an entire lot. So realistically, that's a 0.0025 sample size of an entire lot, not a huge amount of data to be based off of. What we saw, what we heard a lot from our customers was surprises on their estimations. So because of the low sample size, some of their predictions were off on what they thought they were going to peak on certain varieties. Some varieties were more problematic than others. What we try to eliminate was having consistent data and eliminating that human error of, it's hard to get someone to pick out 50 random apples. You get drawn to that nice big one. It's just human nature. So with our system, we were able to eliminate that subjectivity of picking, without trying some of the nicer apples on the top layer. One of the big things we heard from our customers was this manual sizing that they had done historically was causing issues on, some of the decision making that has to get done, whether that's storage, deciding what's going into long-term storage, setting, production plans for the year on some of those apples as they get stored in some of the CA rooms. The sales desk really having an issue with trusting some of that early data they were getting from QC teams or from early predictions, just because they might have been burned in the past. And then buying correct, whether you're going to be bagging, you think you're going to have a lot of bags or a lot of boxes, being able to buy the right things on the production and packing side was problematic with the previous way of QCing. And then this is where we come in. We started as a timekeeping solution, and then we were told by customers that having early size and accurate data could be really valuable. So Spectre was created specifically as the handheld version. It was our first version of Spectre out in the field. Basically, just snap a picture, you get early size data in 45 seconds to a minute, and color parameters as well. So just wanted to show you guys what that looks like. There'll be a video playing shortly here. And right after that, Aaron Croft, our product manager on Spectre, will be taking over and handling some of that Q&A that I spoke about.
Thanks, Omar, for walking us through those challenges. Hi, everyone. My name's Aaron, and I'm a Group Product Manager at Hectre. Today, I'm going to walk you through the benefits that our customers are seeing in their packing sheds and orchards. I'll also show you what the product looks like. I'll use it a little bit and show you how, and then we'll give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you might have later on. But first, we're going to go into some of the practical impacts of using Spectre instead of your old practices. Spectre is a product that's useful regardless of whether you're a grower or a packer. Basically, what it allows you to do is take a single photo and then get the size distribution of your bin, bucket, or crate. And because we have access to all of the fruit that we can see, this means that you get a much bigger sample size than if you're taking a sample by hand, and at a fraction of the time too. But really what it's about is knowing your fruit size earlier than ever before. For a packer, this means you can start taking photos of bins as soon as the trucks arrive at your receiving station. And that information, taken right at that time, will help you make decisions that last for 6 months in the future, where they're going to be stored, where they're going to be sold, how you're going to pack them. So earlier information is better, always. If you're a grower, you can get an accurate picture of your size distribution as the fruit are coming off the tree and going into the bins. You can also take a photo of every bin just before it goes to the pack house. And what this does for you is it kind of adds a quantitative aspect, a numerical evidence for what you already know about your fruit. So that if you're having a conversation with the pack house later on, you've got some numbers to back up your perception of what the fruit was like before it got there. Now, how is that earlier information useful? So if you pack apples, chances are you've got thousands of bins in storage at any time during your apple season. With Spectre, as I mentioned before, you can get much bigger sample sizes of size with more accuracy as well. So your size estimates are more accurate and they're more predictable as well. So they're more accurate more often. You can use that information to make storage decisions. For example, if you want to group similar lots together, you can, because you know an accurate size distribution of those lots. And this might help you later on when you're thinking of pulling those fruit out. You can get operational efficiencies by making sure you're only pulling from, for example, one room. But basically what it's about is having a high degree of confidence that you know the size of the fruit that are in your cool sheds. And that's really powerful. And if you know what the fruit are in your cool sheds, and you have a pretty good confidence in the accuracy of the numbers, that means you can sell with confidence from your cool sheds. So whether you're wondering which lots you want to pack on a given day to fill a specific order, or whether you're trying to make a decision months in advance to lock in a lucrative contract. You can know what's already in your cool store, and you can have confidence that these lots will fit this order, these lots will fit this order, and you can commit yourself to orders that you know you're going to be able to fulfill later on. It's really about selling with confidence. So let's say you've got a large retail customer who's only interested in larger fruit. What you can do is you can go into Spectre and you can dial up all of the lots that have a high incidence of those larger fruit in them. And you can choose, for example, 4 or 5 lots that make up the right number of fruit. And you can have confidence that those lots are going to make up that order. And that means that you can commit yourself to more orders as well, because you don't have to hedge your bets based on the accuracy of the size samples you've got before. So having more accurate samples means you can sell more, you can sell earlier, and you can sell with confidence. So speaking of packing day, once you've chosen the lots that you want to pack, you can have confidence in the size distribution of those lots, that they're going to pretty closely reflect what the grader says on the day. And what that practically means is, as you're packing the lots, if you have pre-configured your sizer based on that size information, and maybe you've allocated staff as well, and set up your packing line configuration for particular size bands, you can be pretty confident that the Spectre size distribution will be correct. And what that means in practice is fewer stoppages to reconfigure things, and better operational efficiency in the long run. So let's say maybe you're a citrus grower and you're trying to get your pickers to pick to a specific size band. What you can do is you can use Spectre to take photos of the bins and get an accurate size distribution of their picks so far. And the sizes are in the retailer's language. So you can give the pickers objective feedback on whether they're picking to the right size band based on what the retailer wants. And practically what that means is you can have more fruit that are in the desired size bands, and you can leave the fruit on the tree that aren't useful for this order, which means you can get a better price per fruit. The other benefit of this is it helps you to train your pickers. It helps you to improve their eye. By giving them that objective feedback, they can know whether they're picking one particular size band or another. And that means more efficient pickers in the future, and just better returns for your farm. So in summary, with Spectre, you can know your fruit size earlier than ever before and at unprecedented accuracy and predictability. At Hectre, we're committed to making all of the Spectre data available to whoever needs it when they need it. And we've got some really cool features that allow someone from across the other side of the world, if they want, to see the results of the size distributions of bins as they're being picked. So maybe you've got pickers in the field, they're filling up the bins, they take some photos with Spectre. If you're sitting in your farm or at your home, you can see that sample come in straight away, and you can have a look at the size distribution of the fruit that are coming off your trees. Also in the pack house, you can keep an eye on the incoming size distribution of fruit from receiving, for example, if you're trying to sell that fruit. It just gives you that information a lot earlier. But also we have other options for accessing that data too. So we have spreadsheet reports that you can download. We've also got an API, but sharing information is very big for us at Hectre. Ultimately, it's about picking better, storing better, packing better, and helping to sell better so that you can get the best price for your fruit. Next, I'm going to show you a video of the Spectre handheld product in action.
Now I'll take you through the Spectre handheld app. First, we're going to create a group, which is our term for a collection of bins that belong to the same block, for example. And then I'll show you in the field how easy it is to take a photo and get a complete size distribution. So here we go. We'll start by clicking the plus button to create a group. Your first choice is what bin type. So we're going to choose a wooden bin of type A for this example. And then if you've got multiple fruit types, you can select between them and ultimately choose a variety. We'll choose Gala. And then if you have, for example, a lot or a grower ID that you want to associate this with, you can choose that. And then you can drill right down to the block, which is useful for synchronizing data later on. There's also optional fields for truck ID and consignment that you can put in. but we'll skip that for now. Finally, the color parameter allows you to set what sort of light to expect on the bin. We're going to choose Auckland afternoon sun. So let's go to the pack house where Luke will show us how to take a photo of a bin. Now, as you can see, he's lining up the bin and he's going to take the tablet to a relatively high angle so that we can see all of the fruit. He'll take a photo, and soon you'll see he's taken quite a good photo of a bin of apples. Now at this stage you can take more photos of bins and put them in the same group, or you can just upload now. Uploading only takes a few seconds, and then you go back to the home screen where you can go and look at the results of that bin. You'll see that it's still processing, and in the cloud we're looking at every single apple in the top layer of that bin, and we'll generate a size distribution which is now ready to view. So as you can see the size distribution of the bin, and it only took about 30 seconds from end to end. And it really is as simple as that.
So you can see that it's extremely easy to get these samples. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit about the Spectre dashboard. The Spectre dashboard allows you to view all of the results at once and do some pretty cool visualizations over all of them. So let's jump into that demo.
So now I'll take you through the Spectre dashboard. The Spectre dashboard is a place that you can go to view all of the groups that have been collected by your devices in the field, both handheld and top-down. It allows you to search and filter for different groups, and also aggregate different groups together to find aggregate size distributions. So now I'll show you some of the powerful search and filter functionality that the dashboard has. Let's pretend that we're an Apple pack house. The size search functionality allows you to find all groups that have a particular size band in the top 3 size bands for that sample. So let's find all groups that have 100s as one of the peaks. And you can see all of these groups now have 100 as one of the top 3 size bands. I can see here that we've got some galas and some Fujis. So let's narrow down to just the galas. So by searching in variety for gala. Now we can further narrow down to make sure that we've only got very red fruit in the sample. So if we tick this box, it means that there is a lot of fruit that have 100% of our red color. So let's click that, and you can see in just a short amount of time that we've found all groups that have galas of a particular size and color distribution. So now I'll show you how to drill into particular groups. Let's say we're interested in the top 3 groups here. I can click the View Details button, and that will show me all of the groups. First, I can have a look at the actual photos to see what the fruit physically look like. And next, I can see the size distribution of each group. This one peaks at 100, this one peaks at 88, and this one peaks at 100, for example. One of the powerful features is aggregating all of these groups together. And you can see the aggregate size and color distributions of all of the groups in your selection. Finally, I'll show you how to export the underlying data. You've got 2 options. Either you can send this spreadsheet via email to up to 10 email addresses, or you can download a spreadsheet right to your computer. I'll show you what the format of the data looks like. So you can see there's some metadata about the groups. Each group is in a row, and then some summary statistics about the size and weight. After that, you can see what percentage each sample had in each size band, and also the count of fruit that it detected in each size band. You can see the same thing for your color percentages later on. So this data can be very useful when it comes to post-harvest analysis or grower feedback.
So you can see that that's a powerful way of aggregating and grouping all of the photos that you've taken. So if you're a bigger packer and you have a suitable setup at your receiving, you might be interested in our top-down offering. Now the difference between the Spectre handheld and the Spectre top-down is with the top-down, we take an industrial camera and we permanently mount it at a point somewhere in your receiving setup. And what you do is you drive your trucks underneath, and that we take a video of the trucks, and then we can see all of the bins in the top row of that truck. What that practically means is with very, very little effort, you can reliably sample a high percentage of your crop. So depending on how high your bins are stacked, you can get 20 to 30% of all bins, generating massive sample sizes and even further increasing the accuracy of Spectre. It's also worth noting that if you've got your own BI setup or your own development team, you can feel free to consume our very simple APIs, which will pull all of the information out of Spectre that you need, and you can use that information to put it in your data lake or to dashboard it using your BI tools. So yeah, we're very friendly to enterprise packers as well. So if you're interested, come talk to us. Now, just to cap that off, I'm going to show you a quick video of our top-down setup so that you can see it in action. And straight after that, we're going to take some questions. All right, thank you for viewing, everyone. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat below on the right-hand side. Questions are anonymous, and we'll ask them to Omar as we go.
Hey, everyone. We'll be jumping in the Q&A portion here. See a few in the chat there. Aaron, I don't know if you can kind of start off on the top there and we'll work our way down.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll hit you with the first one. So, very common question that we get. What fruit types does Spectre support?
Yeah, so we're always looking to develop new opportunities on the fruit types. Typically partner up with people as we develop new commodities that we're going to work with. But currently at the moment, we're doing apples, pears, cherries, citrus, and onions at the moment. And always looking at the next opportunity there. So we're always open to partnering with industry leaders on whatever commodities we're not currently working with.
Fantastic. See another question popping in. What's the setup process like, and how long does it take?
Yeah, that really varies from customer to customer and the size of that customer. A smaller grower, it might not be as long, depending on if they have some of the data we need to create their custom account. And then other things are factors like, are we creating an API? And is that a third-party system or an internal system we're going to create that integration with? And then, if we're doing the top-down version, then we got to build, we got to set that structure up or work with their staff on hand to make sure it's done correctly, test it. So that really just varies on customer and the size and what specifically they want done with that data we're going to be able to provide.
Cool. Yeah, fair enough. Just waiting a bit for the next one. Oh, yeah, looks like we've got one. So yeah, kind of the common question. So I've already got a grader that sizes fruit. Would I still benefit from Spectre?
Yeah, I think there's different portions of the business that Spectre touches. One is long-term storage. I think Aaron might have covered a little bit of that, but knowing exactly what's in each room and confidently being able to open that and run it. Second one is line stoppages. So, no surprises when you run fruit through the line. Sometimes when you're doing the hand sampling, human nature, you pick that biggest fruit and you think you have a certain size, you run it. Turns out you have to stop the line, reset it. And now you have people, waiting around. You're paying for labor as they're standing there. So that's a huge portion. We've seen a huge ROI for some customers, even with the grader. The second one is a sales desk, being, top of the line on some of those wholesalers. being able to communicate with them effectively and let them know exactly what size and what color profile that fruit has. So there's definitely a lot of benefits to having that early size data and color profile that we're able to give. It just depends on what part of the business you're really trying to focus on improving.
Nice. And does the size distribution usually match the grader as well?
Yeah, for our enterprise clients, for example, using top-down, last year we did some comparative analysis, and we were within a 3% range on the top 3 size and even the tail ends, because the top-down system is able to capture such a large quantity of fruit. Our handheld customers are also getting those top 3 sizes within 5% as well. So we're seeing great results across the board at the moment.
Amazing. We've got another one in from the chat. What size operations does Hectre support?
Like I mentioned, it can be a small grower to an enterprise, vertically integrated operation. So it really just depends on what they're looking for. We typically see the growers on the field use the handheld version. It just works best for them. And then some of these large packers are using our top-down system just because the speed of which trucks are coming in during harvest. It makes more sense for them to be able to record those trucks instead of taking pictures. So we really work with anyone from small, mid to large growers and packers as well.
Amazing. I'll just wait a little while for any other questions to pop up in the chat. But in the meantime, how do customers reach out to us?
Yeah, you can reach me on my cell or on our website. We have a contact us page, and we see those every day. So we get a hold of you, chat about your operations, see if it's a good fit. If you're interested, we can jump on a call one-on-one and see what parts of the business it could help out on, and if it's the right time for you to jump on and try to evaluate and use a software like this for the year.
I think we're all finished with the questions, Omar. So yeah, over to you to wrap up.
Awesome. So thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. You can contact us here at the hello@hectre.com or my email, omar@hectre.com. So always respond, and we can always jump on a call. Feel free to jump on our website, hectre.com, and you can kind of browse through what we offer. Some case studies with other companies who've used our products are up and about as well. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for jumping on. Feel free to reach out to us with any questions.